Hi there. Have you ever wondered how you got to where you are today? I was sitting here and wondering the other day about all the decisions I made, the choices I took, and the so-called coincidence that happened, the events that happened in your life, and how they brought me to where I am today. And if some of them hadn't happened, or some decisions I made if I hadn't made them, I would have been probably in a totally different place. I find that pretty fascinating. Now, I'm here today to hopefully inspire you to think back at your life, because it's really important, I find, to understand where we came from and how we got here, so that we can take 100% responsibility for our lives and our situation. And only then, when we know where we are, we can set a goal and go after what we want and get there. My name is Admin Berger, and I teach home business owners and entrepreneurs how to take control of your destiny, build a successful business, and create a lifestyle that you truly want. And on this journey, I thought I'll take you back, just a brief story, just to inspire you to think of your life, because I made all the normal things that most people did. I went to high school. I was tired of school after high school. I just wanted to play football and have fun. So I took a job in a plastic factory that my uncle fixed for me, and then I worked in the post office. I went to the military service, officers school, and did a number of different things, and ended up going to business school a couple of years later. I wanted to study something. I got to a point where I said, I got to do something out of my life, and of course my parents and others, they did what most parents do. They recommend you to get a good education, get a good job in a big company, etc., etc., and then you can work hard your entire life and retire with a good pension. They meant well. They couldn't teach me anything they didn't have or didn't know, so they gave me the best they could, and I couldn't ask for better parents. I had wonderful parents in my life. Now, I made a choice to go to business school, and as soon as I got there, I decided to join an international exchange organization called ISIC. That's probably one of the best and one of the biggest decisions I've ever made, and what has impacted me most in my life, probably because that made me work in an international environment, finding jobs for foreign students who came to Norway, and letting us go abroad to have a similar experience. I was originally exchanged to Germany, to Augsburg, a little bit outside Munich, but they said there must have been a misunderstanding, because we were looking for a person with fluent German language abilities, and I said I was going to go there to learn German, so I couldn't. Instead, I took action, and I looked into what else was there, and I was happy to get a job with IBM in New York. IBM, the computer company, what a trade. And I got there, I learned a lot, had a great time together with 20, 30 other people from other countries. And one evening, we went to Oliver's Bar for a happy hour. And I got to, as I was ordering something in the bar, I got to talk with a little bit older guy than me. And he looked like an IBMer with a right suit and all that. And we started just chatting, and he said, "Who are you?" And I said, "We're just a bunch of students having fun." And he said, "Why don't you join us?" So we talked, we laughed, we had a good time. This guy ended up being so happy with the evening that he recommended me to his friend, a Norwegian guy he worked with in Paris at the time. So when he got back from Paris to Oslo to work as an executive vice president, he called me up. They had had a hiring freeze for 3 years, but he wanted to offer me an interview anyway. So I ended up working with IBM in Oslo. That brought me to Stockholm. Now, interesting thing about bringing me to Stockholm is that before I left America, I chose to book a specific flight with Pan Am at the time. They don't exist anymore, but Pan Am, I think it was Pan Am, at a window seat on a specific row, on a specific flight, specific time of the day, etc. And I end up beside a guy called Göran that became a good friend of mine. We traveled together with him and another friend of his, that they were traveling together for about a month. And we kept in touch after San Francisco, 4th of July on the Golden Gate Bridge. Same morning we saw Boris Becker be beaten by Stefan Edberg. They were Swedish, so that was a lot of fun for them, of course. In a bar on a Sunday morning in San Francisco. And then Golden Gate Bridge, celebrating with thousands of people in the evening, 4th of July, the National Day. So we had a lot of good memories. All of those things wouldn't have happened if I hadn't just taken those specific decisions and choices for for the things I did. So it was not really a coincidence. It was just it just happened, kind of an energetic kind of thing. Now, what then happened was when I got to Stockholm, I kept in touch with Göran. Göran introduced me to Janne, who is one of my absolutely best friends, even today, and after so many years. And that was the guy that introduced me to entrepreneurship. He was running restaurants and kept asking me, why do you want to build everybody else's dream when you can build your own? And he got to me in the end, and eventually he said, why don't you look into this thing? He had found an opportunity with a home business type of company. And that's how I became a home business owner and entrepreneur. After that, I developed that into having a seminar business, coaching business, training company. And I do educational programs. I wrote a book. I got to meet Bob Proctor, who became a good friend and mentor and coach for me. I learned a lot of things from him. I got to know Jack Canfield. A lot of great things happened on my journey. So now, what if I hadn't joined Isaac? What if I hadn't chosen that airplane? What if I didn't go to Oliver's that evening, etc., etc.? Life might have been looking totally different because my friend Janne, who introduced me to this home business opportunity, where I started and developed a business, on that journey I even won an incentive trip where I got to go to Hong Kong and then on to Australia. And on that trip I met a German girl called Angelica, and she became my soulmate and my wife a couple of years later. And we usually say that we are Norwegian living in Stockholm, meeting a German girl in Hong Kong on our way to Australia. A couple of years later we got married in Oslo, now we live in southern Spain. So that's how it can take you. Depending on the kind of decisions that you make and what happens in your life. So now you go back and reflect on your life, and I'll get back with you in a few days, maybe even sooner, and tell you about another big decision that I made and another big event that happened in my life that actually, when I look back at it, turned my whole life around and made me end up where I am today. So hopefully that inspires you to find out a little bit about you. And only then you can look in the future to where you want to go. So take care. If you found value in this, make sure that you understand that I'm going to come out with training videos all the time, minimum one a week. And hopefully I'll provide a lot of value to you and to your friends and the people you want to share this with. So if you found value in today's video, please make sure you follow me on Facebook, on my Facebook page. And like the page, of course, I'd be grateful for that. And then share it with your friends and teammates so that you can spread the good karma, the good energy to them, because whatever you put out comes back. Put out positive things and you get positive things coming back. And that would be a good thing to do. And I'll be seeing you on the next video. Have a good day and talk to you soon again. Take care.